Hi there, welcome to the Barbara Young channel and welcome to my Friday sews. So what have I been doing? Well, if you watch my channel you know it's probably going to be not very much, but I have done a couple of things. I've got an item that I've made and I've got a project which is in the process. So I think I'll start with the project that I've made, what I've actually managed to get done. Well, what I've actually made is a bag. It's a bag from my scraps, so where I've been able to cut squares out and make from the scraps, I've been making loads of squares up to make a scrappy bag, as it were. Now the type of bag it is a bit like, I can't remember what you call it now, but those tote bag type things, only with this one you've got not just one compartment but two, so you've got two sections to it. Effectively it's like having a very long piece that you just sort of fold up and it makes a concertina sort of thing, and then I just do the sides and there you go, put a handle on it. It's a little rough and ready, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but then I am just trying to use up scraps and make a sort of usable bag. And actually I didn't make just one, I've made two. So I've got two bags here. Construction was a little bit different. This one's a little bit shorter than this one. This is a slightly taller one. Basically this is 6 squares for the length or the height, and this one's only 5, but they're both 4 squares across. Now the squares are 10 centimetre squares that I cut out, and then just a 1 centimetre seam allowance is what I used against that. So I mean, whatever that comes out to, 8 centimetres is it then, effectively what you see. They don't look quite square, but they are squares. I mean, it's just the way they are. And then I've had 2 layers, so you've got the other layer, so it's backed, and then, you know, did the crisscross stitching to hold it all together, and then put some binding on the side and on the top. I used red, like a nice red binding on the top, just to give that edge, and also on the bottom, so that when you put things in it, it's not necessarily just going to go sticking straight through the bottom, because this one I'm using for knitting supplies, like knitting needles. So that's what that one's being used for, that's what it is. And then, you know, similar sort of thing with the second one. Just again, sort of, you know, supplies type thing. Again, you got 2 compartments. This one is a little bit different in that when I did this, I had a load of white squares from some material. So I did one side that was effectively all white, and then the other side which is the patterns, all the different colours on the squares. But I constructed it a little differently. What I did was effectively each section I did as one section and then put them together to form the shape that I wanted. But so the binding is actually there, the binding top and bottom is actually there as a construction to hold it together along with the sides. I also put a backing on the white, so I did the white pieces, made them up and then backed them before I put it together with the colours squares, so you actually have more layers. I've got 3 layers per piece on this one, whereas this one's just 2 layers. So it's a little bit more bulky, a little bit more in there, but yeah, it forms a very nice bag. A little bit smaller, the little handle on it this time, not as long, so that's brilliant. So that was 2 scrap bags I've done, and you know, it takes a lot longer to do these things than you think. You think, oh yeah, just cut a few squares out, whip them together, and then, you know, you're almost there. But it's not. No, it actually takes quite a bit of time, it seems, to actually make these sort of, I don't know, call it quilted scrap bags, because that's, I suppose, sort of what they are. But they're sort of, there's no patterning to them. They're just random squares just put together to make a bag, a sort of type of basic tote bag. Brilliant. Yeah, good way of trying to use up some of those scraps from my huge supply of scraps in my scrap bag. So the next item I want to talk about was a project that I am getting on with. Seem to be very slow at getting on with projects, but never mind. Simplicity 8133. I've mentioned this before. I have made it before, only this time I want to do it a little differently. Something to do with the way the waistband is going to fasten up, just to give it a bit more, I don't know, ability to be able to, bit of movement in there, rather than it being fixed as it currently is with a popper in there. And the material I'm using is actually from a dress that I got from a thrift shop. I have mentioned this dress before, but I'll put pictures in again. And as you can see, this is the material, or the main material for it. It's got a bit of a nice movement to it. I think that is a viscose of some sort. It's the way it seems to iron. It's not a polyester, I'm pretty sure of that, but you know, who knows exactly what it is, but it is quite nice. This is the sleeve that I took off the original garment, because I've already deconstructed it, because I am part of the way through making it. So at the moment, what I've done is I've got my plan together, my notes, rough and ready plan of what I'm doing. So yeah, I always do notes, always got a note sheet for my projects that I do, and I write it all down, how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to film it even as well, because when you're making a project, sometimes you can sort of get away with yourself and sort of get on with the project without realising that you haven't filmed some parts of it, which is a bit tricky at times sometimes to get that balance right. But yeah, I'm slowly getting on with it. So far I've managed to get all the pieces cut out, and I've got them all here, ready to start putting together. And yeah, so that's slowly coming on. Simplicity 8133 wrap skirt. Hopefully it won't take me too long now that I've got the parts cut out and I've got my plan worked out, and I'll be able to push on with that one, and hopefully maybe by next week, possible, if I don't have too many interruptions, I'll have that done, and then the video not much longer after that. So that's my current project. And the only other thing to talk about, I suppose, would be a little bit about life at the moment. Well, again, it's a quiet life for me generally. There are some family things going on that are taking time away from my sewing. You know, you've always got things that you've always got to do, and family, there's always a requirement there at some point, isn't there? So not being able to do as much sewing or as much crafting and things as I really want to, because obviously you have to go and do other things at times, don't you? You know, along with all the everyday stuff that you have to do as well. So yeah, that's about it really. You know, nothing much really going on, just trying to plod on and get things done, I suppose, really. Well, if you like this video, please do give it a like and subscribe. That way you'll always get a notification of when my videos come out, if you set that little bell icon. Please do put some comments. I do love your comments and what you're saying, what you have to talk about, and also can chat amongst yourselves as well in the comments if you'd like to, 'cause it's always nice to read what you're up to and what you're doing as well. So really, it's just left for me to say thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!
Young.